So, today's video is something that has been long overdue. I've been meaning to create a video to let you guys know what I think about the Street Triple RS because it's been about 11 months since I've owned this motorcycle. I think I've come to the conclusion that this is probably the best middleweight motorcycle that currently exists, and I want to give you guys my reasons. Woo! Man, I still get excited to this day when I ride this motorcycle. It just doesn't disappoint, to be honest with you. Although this review is mostly about the top 5 things that I absolutely love about this motorcycle and why I think it's the best middleweight motorcycle that currently exists at the current moment, but I also think it has some flaws. So I think I want to start out with some of the flaws first. 2 of its major flaws is that it doesn't have cruise control and it doesn't come with heated grips as standard. Now I understand that Triumph does sell heated grips as an option, but at this stage of the game, I'm just not interested in spending additional money, not only to install it, but to actually buy the kit. So that's out of the question. But I think more than anything else, I think a cruise control option would be fantastic for this motorcycle. I frequently travel back to San Diego to see my mom, and I also go to LA. Like I was in LA last week, I took the Street Triple RS. There's about 40 minutes of highway riding. And on those highway roads, out of the 40 minutes, I wish at least 25 of those minutes could be utilized with the cruise control, but it just doesn't have it. But that aside, hopefully Triumph comes out with an upgrade soon. Woo! Woo-hoo! Yes, this thing is so much fun. And I'm almost out of gas. The gas light is on. But anyways, those 2 flaws aside, I still think that this is the best middleweight motorcycle. And this is why I haven't upgraded yet to something like a Super Duke, to the Speed Triple. I haven't upgraded to the 890 Duke. And there's a big reason for that. And I think that the biggest reason for that is the fact that this motorcycle is probably the sportiest motorcycle out of all of them. And of course, yes, they're all sporty in a way. They can all go around a racetrack pretty quickly. But I think this motorcycle, in its genetics, is more of a sport bike than it is a naked. The 890 Duke is more like a hooligan's motorcycle. Every single time you ride it, you're going to want to do wheelies in between red lights. Totally understandable. Different market genre for that. But although I have seen the 890 Duke do some awesome laps at the racetrack, so in that sense, yes, it is also a good track bike. But I think this motorcycle is mostly a track bike. The bike comes with M50 calipers, and it also has a Brembo master cylinder, which I think is the best in the business at the current moment. Well, next to the Stylema, because that would be the upgrade to the M50 calipers. As you already know, I have the Yamaha R6, and my R6 come with Nissan calipers, and I think just the generic master cylinder, but it is nowhere near in comparison to the Street Triple RS's M50 plus the Brembo master cylinder combination. When I was at the track with this motorcycle, I was stopping just 100 feet, maybe less, from the braking point, and if it wasn't for the big Brembo brakes as well as the master cylinder doing a wonderful job, I wouldn't have as much confidence to ride this motorcycle at my absolute limit and at its absolute limit. I think riding a motorcycle like this gives you so much confidence because it almost makes you feel like you're a much better rider than you actually are. Not just that, but when you combine the braking power along with this unbelievable suspension that this motorcycle has, once dialed in, this thing is so confidence inspiring. Not only is it perfect for the street, it's also great for the track. As far as performance goes on the street, because that's where a majority of us, including myself, are going to ride it, I'm only going to do like maybe 1 or 2 track days a year with this motorcycle because it's got to share track time with the R6 or any other bike I have. But that being said, it has got plenty of power for the street. I am not even complaining 1 second. So yeah, as far as power is concerned, It's got plenty of it, man. How much more do you really need on the street before you get arrested? Speed aside, because it's a very quick bike, no doubt about it. Aside from the geometry of the motorcycle, the riding comfort, as well as all the components, because yes, this has top shelf components, dripping with technology, except that it doesn't have an IMU based system, and some might appreciate it, and I've come to appreciate it because I'd like a motorcycle or a toy that doesn't have as many nannies. I mean, these days almost everything has a lot of electronics, so I'm kind of thankful for that. But in my humble opinion, I think what makes this motorcycle really, really stand out is that it feels like a quality product. In this day and age, manufacturers are cutting corners everywhere, and they're trying to save money as much as possible. But I think with the Street Triple RS, they've done a fantastic job and have included top shelf equipment on this motorcycle, which makes it, in my opinion, the best middleweight naked that currently exists. Where most motorcycles go wrong, if they ever do go wrong, something happens, is usually in the engine, the power plant. But the power plant in this motorcycle is absolutely bulletproof. And I can confidently say that I've been riding this motorcycle for about 4,000 miles. And I would say out of the 4,000 miles, probably 3,500 have been in a very hooligan fashion. Because I like to twist the throttle, I like to have fun. If something were to happen to the engine, it would happen about now. But so far, everything has been good. There was just one time that the engine shut off, and that was during idle, I believe. It was in one of my videos, I forgot which one it was. But the engine shut off by itself, but it hasn't happened again, and I'm not exactly sure what the cause is and haven't been able to replicate it. But regardless, this is a Moto 2 engine. Now that has some huge significance because the Moto 2 engines are currently being used for MotoGP. I really hope that they come out with an upgraded version of this motorcycle sometime soon. There's nothing in this motorcycle that I don't like, to be honest with you. There's nothing. I don't care what people say about the styling. Some people like it, some people don't. They call it bug eye or whatever, but it's grown on me. I love it. I think the design is great. Aside that, outfitting this motorcycle with an exhaust. I don't care what exhaust you put on this thing. It sounds sublime. You may or may not know, but I had 3 exhausts for this motorcycle when I first got it. Manufacturer sent them to me, and I had a blast. Did sound tests and everything, and I ended up choosing the Leo Vence exhaust as the exhaust that I kept on the motorcycle. But all 3 exhausts sound absolutely amazing on this motorcycle, and it doesn't really matter what you use. The triple engine on this thing is an absolute peach, and it sounds fantastic. You can't go wrong regardless of which exhaust you use on this motorcycle. He was trying to race me. I don't think so, buddy. There are times I think to myself, alright, you know what? It's almost been a year since I've owned this motorcycle. What other motorcycle can I possibly get? If I get anything, it's going to be the Speed Triple. I've made a video about it. Guys, should I get a Speed Triple or not? And you've all responded, and I've listened to you. But I'm still debating in my head, do I really want to get another bike? And I always get back on this motorcycle, and I end up loving every single second of riding it. And so the answer always comes back to me, and that answer is no. Keep this motorcycle, continue to ride it, continue to enjoy it, because honestly, I'm just not bored of it. This is not something that I get on and I feel like I'm bored of it already. It doesn't have enough power or whatever. You know those feelings you get whenever you want to upgrade to something different? I just don't have those feelings. I just don't have those thoughts in my head. There's nothing about this motorcycle that I feel like is lacking. Aside from those 2 things that I mentioned before, which is the heated grips, which I could probably get, but I don't want to waste my money on, and the lack of a cruise control feature. But aside from that, in my opinion, it is the best middleweight naked. You guys, if you agree with me, comment down below. If you also disagree with me, comment down below and let me know your thoughts on this. Am I wrong or am I right? Alright guys, until the next episode, I will see you later. Ciao for now.